What's up there, YouTube? Section 333 here. This is the going into the last day of July, first day of August. It's actually it is August 1st officially now. So I'm up late on a Saturday night and gonna hit the hay soon. I was just having a little nightcap, but not Dunhill's nightcap. I was having a little John Cotton's Latakia. I'm loving this blend, by the way. Absolutely loving it. Smoking in the Dagner poker. This is the Shotglass poker. Just chased a couple frogs out of the pool. They'll be back in the morning, I'm sure. They're good. They take out the bugs. This has like a very nice... I mean, the room though, I love the smell of the Latakia, that smell of that campfire. And that's all in there. I actually love this pipe too because you can clench it so well. But, oh. Beautiful blend. Got it dried out just right. Might have to decant it into a jar if it gets any dry. Beautiful though. Oh, the fragrance is just all of that stuff that you enjoy about a good Latakia blend. All of it. Wearing the Boston Scally and the Punisher today. Boston Scally is not a sponsor. I have 3 of their hats. I do enjoy them quite a bit. It's almost like a baseball cap here with this covering over it, actually. And it's funny, like my dad didn't so much wear flat caps, but I had 2 uncles that always wore flat caps or driver's caps or chauffeur's caps, whatever you want to call them. My mother's 2 brothers, they wore them quite frequently. I'm also a little Woodford Reserve. So, to go with my night pipe. And this is seltzer in ice. And this beautiful Mizu. I actually got this from Bespoke Post. Like I said, somebody got me a gift of Bespoke Post, and this was actually like one of my favorite things. It came with this paracord wraparound. I don't even know if it's real paracord. I don't think it is. But I really actually enjoy. There's a lid too that's in my car, but this thing is not that expensive. It's actually like $75. I looked, and I think it's $50 a month for the Bespoke Post, but this was like one of like 5 things in the box. The cost of the box was something like $175. Of all the things that were in it, there was like a blanket in there, something like that. Really comfortable blanket, and I think there might have been a pocket knife. But absolutely enjoy this. It's like one of those things I don't think I would have ever purchased for myself. You know, like I have a thermos kind of like that, similar. But it's like, remember the old bullet style thermos that your dad used to carry around? It's very similar to that, but it's very similar to that, except it has it's more cylindrical, and the cap is flat and goes over it. So it's not that bullet style with the rounded top. There's a flat bottom top, and It's like a big, like, looks more like a regular cup. More like a metal version of this glass, of a round rocks glass. So, it's like I said, it's not something I would have purchased for myself, but something that I wound up actually enjoying. So, hope everybody has had a good summer so far, as it's starting to wind down. I have been in the pool for a few night swims. I don't think I've done a day swim yet. I'm hoping I can get a day swim in soon on a nice hot day. But we had a blazing hot night not too long ago that I just said the heck with it. I couldn't even cool off in the house with the air conditioning. It was so hot I felt. And we were having problems with our central air, but we were having problems with the lower compressor. There's one for each floor and of the house, and we were having problems with the for almost a year. We were having issues, and this summer during that heat wave, it got particularly nasty. So one night I had a lot of work to do here, and I didn't want to go upstairs like all sweaty and stuff. So I said, you know what? Maybe I'll just take a quick dip in the water, cool down some, take a quick shower, cool down some more, and then go upstairs, get some rest. And that's what I did. I slept like a baby. My mom enjoys the pool, you know. She can't really swim in it, you know, but she likes to, you put her down in it to walk and stuff, she'll do that. Sprinklers are on behind me. You know, beard is getting long and bushy. I guess you call it the corona beard. I haven't really gone for too much grooming. My hair has gotten really long. I think I've had like 3 haircuts in the last like year and a half. Maybe 4. Since this whole corona thing started. Oh. If you're ever into bourbon, Woodford Reserve, while not my favorite bourbon, my favorite bourbon is Booker's, actually. And Baker's is actually very nice as well. They're made by the same company, Booker's and Baker's. But Woodford Reserve is an excellent bourbon. Actually, it's not true. My favorite bourbon is the 23-year-old Pappy Van Winkle's when I can get it. I'm almost done with my bottle of that. And don't spend, like, you can look online, you'll see that bottle for like thousands of dollars. Don't do it. You can get that much. Like, if you know, you can get that in the hundreds, so to speak. Because there are a lot of retailers, because it's only supposed to be sold for that kind of price, actually. They're not supposed to sell it for thousands. And so if you go to a dealer, or not a dealer, but if you go to a liquor store and they have a bottle of it and they're telling you it's $1,000, call Van Winkle's up, because they're not supposed to sell it at that price. They're supposed to sell it at the regular retail price. That's why they limit the number of bottles that they send to each store. Plus, it takes 23 years to make. That's what I was told. I actually met one of the distillers that worked there. And that's why he told me, he says, it's hard to find because it takes 23 years to make, and our other bourbon takes 12 years to make. They also own Buffalo Trace, which actually is very fine bourbon. But yeah, if I had to pick a favorite special occasion bourbon, it would definitely be the 23-year-old Pappy Van Winkle's. I would also say that my favorite everyday bourbon, like I said, while this is a very good bourbon, the Woodford Reserve, while it's not my favorite, I would say my favorite bourbon is going to be, yeah, Booker's or Baker's, one of those two. Angel's Envy is very nice too, actually. Yes. I'm lighting a fresh bowl. What the heck? Right? So, like I said, I hope everybody is having a good summer. I hope everyone's having a safe summer. I've always felt, people do need to get out more. Life is meant to be lived. Don't let anybody fool you. So, yeah. It's funny, I think my mother's been with me for exactly 1 year now. It's kind of cool. Yeah. Living in this house. I mean, we were taking her, I took her, she was with me every weekend since I moved in here 11 years ago. She's been with me almost every weekend. Very rarely that she wasn't, unless I was working for the weekend or something. Then I would not get the opportunity to see her. But if I was my weekend off, then she was here. And when I had weekends off all the time, she was here. So, but it's been nice having her here full time. She's in a good mood generally. Yeah. And the aids are worth it. Oh. I don't like to get up in the mornings. Like, I take care of her on the weekends. Like, I don't have the aid on the weekends because I'm a nurse. So I take care of her. I may not work at the bedside anymore and things like that. I'm an administrator now, but it's I didn't forget how to do it. Yeah. Oh. It's also a funny world we're living in too right now. Like I said, I don't want to give anybody any coronavirus advice. I do want to say, people are like, oh, should I get vaccinated? Should I get vaccinated? And you know what I say? Talk to your doctor. Your doctor knows your medical history. If you don't trust your doctor, find a doctor you trust. Talk to them. I'm vaccinated. I felt it was the right thing for me to do. It was the right thing for my family at the time. And I'm not a big vaccine guy. I'm not really big on vaccines. But I do know we've done some amazing things with vaccines here in the United States. But my decision should not influence your decision. It has nothing to do with your decision. I said, I'm a libertarian. And I think people should do whatever the heck is the right thing to do for them. I'm very big on personal responsibility, so people do have to take personal responsibility. In their lives. Even with something like this, especially with something like this. Every now and then, the draw on this pipe can get a little tight. And you gotta crank out that stem. You gotta give the it's the weirdest thing in the world. And this is like the tightest fitting stem ever, even with beeswax. Slap it all over it. Do you have a favorite pipe shape? I'm very fond of pokers, and I'm very fond of the 320 shape. Which is actually, the 320 is a play on what they call the author shape, I'm told. If I cared more, I would probably research that. I'm not sure. That a bug? No. So, a little bit up out here. That's all right. Oh, sprinklers just shut off. And that means these sprinklers are off, so those sprinklers are going to turn on now. You hear the water pressurizing. It's so weird. My wife is out here. She gets so scared because, that water's shutting off, that water's turning on. She's like, oh my God, what's that noise? What's that noise? And because now the other zone is turned on. And now it's doing the flower beds. Before it was watering the grass. So, yeah. But yeah, though. I've been cooking a lot more, too. People were saying since they spent a lot more time at home, and honestly, I was like the kind of guy who went to work and came home, and went to work and came home, go to the gym, stuff like that. Now I'm working out at home. I'm not traveling to the gym as much as I used to. My gym never really opened up again. One of the gyms I go to closed completely in its entirety. It has closed, never to reopen. Shame. It was a good gym too. So, that being said, I also was not going to restaurants much either because I spent a lot of weekends here with my mom. Unless we took her out to dinner or something like that. I would usually cook dinner here at home anyway. My wife does not cook. She does other things. She has other talents. So I cook at home here quite a bit. And I guess I've been broadening my repertoire, the things that I can make. I also think, and my father was a very good cook too. And he had actually at one time had been a mess sergeant in the Army prior to going to school. But it was like one of those things though. My father was big on the home cooked meal, and at least once a week, where you sat down with your family and you ate dinner. And that was something my wife and I still continue to do with our kids. Kids, even though they're out of the house, we still try to get together once a week with them, my mother, her mother, and we do like a family dinner on Sundays or Saturdays. Depends when people are available to make it. And you know what? The kids have lives, so sometimes they don't make it because they, actually it's nice because all three of my kids kind of live in the same town now, and the same borough of New York City, which is great. And two of them live in the same building, and they're like one's like 2 blocks away or a block away. It's perfect. And they hang out with each other every day, which is awesome because, my wife and I say, oh, it's great. We know who our kids are hanging out with, and we know the people who raised them. And that's a fortunate thing. I don't get along with my sister. We're, at the very least, you could say estranged. But I do think it's a good thing for siblings or close friends or whatever to always keep that bond if you can, so that you're always close to your closest friends or your closest siblings. And I think it's a good thing that siblings are close to one another and that they spend time with one another and care about one another, and they have each other's back. That's important. It's funny, I'm like this libertarian with this old school value system, I guess, now. And I wasn't always that way. I was kind of a loner, things like that. People are shocked that I'm actually married with children, if you knew me growing up. But then again, like, all of my friends are now married. The guys I hung out with, they're all married and with children. So, once again, what's your favorite pipe shape? Some people don't have a favorite pipe shape, What's your favorite pipe in that case? What's your favorite type of cuisine? What's your favorite bourbon? What's your favorite meal to cook? It's funny, like, I'd say like 90% of the guys I know actually cook, and cook well, too. I think it's a misnomer about some of the traditional gender roles. As a father, as a man, how I lived by myself for so long that if I wasn't gonna, I'm like blocking the camera with my hand. If I wasn't going to cook, then I wasn't going to eat. That simple, or, you can't eat out every night. I didn't grow up on that stuff, so it wasn't, the kind of thing I wanted to eat every day either. I wanted, like, real home-cooked food. So, my father taught me how to cook when I was 12, so... That's just how it was, and oddly enough, none of my kids showed, I wasn't going to force anything on my kids. None of them showed interest while growing up about wanting to learn to cook. But as they've gotten older, They all taking an interest in cooking things at home and learning to cook, and that whole Blue Apron thing, or the I think Amazon has one too, or Martha Stewart Meals or whatever. Um, so there's like a few of these meal services where they deliver the ingredients and you cook, and they give you the instructions on how to cook the meal. And you build up your ingredients, you build up your recipe catalog, and I've always told them, this is great. This is absolutely fantastic, because you want to do it, and when you want to do something on your own, you're more inclined to stick with it. And there's no guilt if you don't stick with it. So they've all gotten into it, and I'm proud of all of them. They're all pretty good, and they've asked me, of course, for advice on how to do things, and they'll make a recipe that was similar to something that I made for them in the past, and they'll say, it didn't quite taste the way you make it, and we like the way you did. Do you do something different? And I'll show them some of the tricks that I learned from my dad, things like that over the years. It's so I guess food is one of those things that's always brought cultures together, families together, and towns together, communities together. There used to be harvest festivals, things like that. I pine for those years where we can develop a true sense of community as people while retaining our individual independence and our individuality. And I think that's like a huge thing for someone like me, is being able to maintain that independence and individuality, but also being able to be close to your neighbor. I mean, I'm one of the few people who, on this street, who knows my neighbors. Like a lot of people don't know their neighbors. I was talking to the gentleman next door he's 97, and he told me, wow, you know everybody. And you know the guy across the street, you know the guy behind you. He says, I only know you. And I said, yeah, and you know what? He doesn't know you. And that one doesn't know you. And the guy over here, nobody knows, that type of thing. So I say it's important to know the people living in your neighborhood. It's important to know the people living on your block. If you need something, if they need something, they know they can reach out to you, and you would be someone who can help them, and it's so funny how you get this push today for this leftist progressive, almost a socialism that people are pushing for, yet nobody wants to know their neighbor at all. It's like, I mean, it's in the word commune, but they don't want to commune with their neighbors at all. And like I said, my thing is like, a force of individuals is really the way to go, is to have a force of individuals. Because the individuality is important, but having individuals working together towards a common cause, that's one of the best tools in the world, because you don't have people with the same mindset working towards your goal. When you build a team at work, to tackle a project, I want people from all areas of the hospital and different experiences, because that's how I'm going to get the best team. If I get everybody who always is agreeable, and I want the guy who's going to disagree on my team, because that's the person that's going to challenge you to some way or another to make things better and to make sure you get the optimal goal. And hopefully you have more than one person who challenges, and you don't want to get bickering and arguing back and forth, but you want that person who plays the role of the sixth man or the ninth man, You know, you got 8 guys who all agree that, oh, this is the way we should do something. Then that 9th guy says, let's play devil's advocate. You want that person who plays devil's advocate. To keep you honest. All right, guys. I hope everybody is, like I said, had an excellent summer so far. John Cotton's, Latakia, get it, smoke it, love it, enjoy it. Actually, all the blends are pretty good. I've had the Smyrna, very good. I've had the John's Cotton #1 and the 1 and 2. All very good. To me, this is the best because it's Latakia. So, and you know I love my Latakia. All right, guys. Section 333.